In Pastor Zach's message this week, he unpacked a story of Jarius, a religious leader who asked Jesus to heal his sick daughter. On the way to Jairus' house to heal her, Jesus gets stopped by a woman who has a condition that has made her bleed for 12 years. The woman touches the hem of Jesus' robe and she's healed. But right after Jesus heals the woman, some people from Jairus' house come to tell him that his daughter is now dead. Having a young daughter, if I was Jairus, I would have been absolutely beside myself. I mean, he asked Jesus first. Doesn't that mean he kind of has first dibs on Jesus' healing power? In Mark's biography of Jesus' life, when Jesus hears the news of Jairus' daughter, he says to Jairus, "Don't be afraid, just believe." Personally, that statement, it wouldn't have done anything to calm my overwhelming grief of my dead daughter. But the Bible doesn't record Jairus' response. Instead, we learn that they still go to his house to see his daughter. And something happened that prompted Jairus to believe Jesus' words. And I think it had to do with the bleeding woman. You see, right after Jesus heals the woman, he says to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." Jairus witnessed how the faith of the woman made her well. Then, just moments later, Jesus asked him to exhibit that same faith with his daughter, even though the situation must have felt hopeless to him. And thankfully, he put his faith in Jesus, and his daughter was raised from the dead. Now, I want to be really clear here. This is not to say that Jairus' faith caused his daughter to rise from the dead, just as the woman's faith did not cause her bleeding to stop. It's not as if Jesus needed their faith to be able to perform miracles. But there is a pattern throughout the Gospels that Jesus works in partnership with the faith of the people around him. The faith that he can heal, raise people from the dead, and ultimately the faith that he was who he said he was, the Son of God, who takes away the sin of the world. The point I'm trying to make here is that it was likely that Jairus put his faith in Jesus because he saw what happened to the woman when she put her faith in him. I don't know about you, but whenever I find myself lacking in faith in Jesus during a hard time, I found that the most encouraging things I can do is to lean on the faith of fellow believers, especially those in my inner circle. I know the people closest to me well enough to know that they don't have a blind or ignorant faith, but rather one that is built on a foundation of depending on God and seeing him continue to show up in their own lives. They also know me well enough to point out particular moments in my own life where God showed up that I can look back on. So today, if you're feeling like the hardest thing in the world right now is to believe that Jesus is who he says he is and that you can trust him with what you're going through, I want you to reach out to a friend, maybe someone in your inner circle who can help encourage you and build up your faith.